This is our first range report of the Springfield Ronin 1911 9mm 4.25 inch. Let's hit the range.
Easy shooter.
What did you think of the trigger pull and the sights so far?
Really good. And that was the Kimber mag.
Oh, good, okay. So to start off, I'll say there are a couple different versions of this Ronin available. The version that we were shooting is the 4.25 inch model that has the forged aluminum alloy frame. There is a version with a forged steel frame, but this is again the forged aluminum frame version that has the 4.25 inch barrel. Now, speaking of that forged stainless steel barrel, Springfield does call this a match grade, fully supported ramp barrel that has a 1 16 inch twist. And when I was looking at this gun, well, it's not my gun. I did spot it in the wild, and when I was checking it out, I looked at the slide in the barrel, and I drew that slide back, and I was drawn to that barrel. I'm like, wow, that's a nice looking barrel on there. I want to know more. So I'm glad I got to check this out. Pretty neat. Now back to the rest of the details. The gun, this aluminum alloy frame version, it weighs in at 31 ounces. The overall length is 7.9 inches, and it has a height of 5.5 inches. Now the slide is a forged carbon steel, and it does come with what they call their tactical rack white dot rear fiber optic front sights, and I was a big fan of these sights. So if you watch the channel before, you know that I'm a fan of nice sights on a gun. And this one, frankly, it came with some very nice sights out of the box. I probably wouldn't bother changing them if this was my gun. I do very much like that front fiber optic red sight that has a pinpoint, precise sort of dot to it. I'm not a huge fan of two white dots in the back. I'd prefer that to be flat black. But I did find that lining up the red little pinpoint dot with the two white dots was actually very easy to use, and like any 3-dot sight, once you know how to use it, you know how to use it. And the gun was very accurate for me, very accurate. I did also test out that tactical rack action, and that was also very easy to do, and I have no training, so I'm just going to mention that I also thought that worked. Let's get a little more range time in. Side by side. Our initial post-range thoughts on this gun are, frankly, it's very impressive. We got it for $629, though this was a used gun that I thought looked brand new. I couldn't find a mark on it. I think the MSRP is around $849. My gut tells me you'll probably find it anywhere from, we'll say, $749 to $799, but that's just a from the get guess. I have no idea. I've not seen another one in store in years. So, what are our thoughts on the gun? Even if we had paid retail price for it, I would still say this was an impressive gun to shoot at that price point, the $750 to $800 range. The trigger is a very nice short single action trigger weighs in at around 5 pounds. It's a very crisp break with a nice short reset. And I think you're not going to find a better trigger unless you, say, go to a custom sort of build or have some custom work done on the gun. Really, it's one of the better factory triggers that I've shot, even at 1911s. So it's got, you know, that going for it. Now, another thing it has going for it it comes with some very nice target sights on it. I guess you could actually call them tactical defense sights as well, since they have that tactical rack action that does work. Though I think with that fiber optic front sight, I always think of something with that fiber optic as more of a target gun. Though I think you would have no problems carrying this as a defensive gun, and it would absolutely do well, at least in my experience with it so far. Now, it does have, like most 1911s, the grip safety as well as the thumb safety. I did test the safety. It did work, though, I mean, you know, to each their own. On a 1911, you probably definitely need something besides just the grip safety on it if you're going to carry it at least cocked and locked, as they like to say. And I guess I'll mention that when I say the safety works, I mean that I enabled the safety and I tried to pull the trigger and nothing happened, which is what I expected, right? So yeah, it worked. Now, our thoughts on accuracy are, with that nice trigger, the weight, and those nice sights, so this can be a very accurate gun. My first 2 mags on this, I shot 2 groups that were basically the size of a quarter on each one, and I rarely do that. You know, if you watch this channel, you probably know by now that I usually shoot pretty big groups, and I call, you know, wide groups better than they really are. But hey, you know, that's our style. You know, shooting this gun, the groups were such that I felt a lot more confident than I probably am skill-wise, and you know, it's hard to complain when you get that feeling. So far, I'd say we're very impressed with the pistol, and at least for me, I'm very much looking forward to shooting it as we get through the 4 Seasons 1,000-round challenge with it. So as always, I hope you found that information useful and are looking forward to seeing this one appear in future videos. And have a nice day!